Amsterdam's most famous football club almost had the worst name in sports history. Not Ajax, but Football Club Ajax, with one L, because the founders couldn't decide if they were starting a club or filing paperwork. The name lasted 3 weeks. March 18, 1900. A group of young men from the Union Gymnastics Club in Amsterdam sat in a room and decided they needed something to do when it was too cold to flip on parallel bars. Football was still a curiosity in the Netherlands, imported from England, played mostly by students and the sons of merchants who'd spent time abroad. The Union Club had tried cricket, but nobody understood it, and the equipment was expensive. Football needed a ball and some borrowed space. So they founded a club, 11 founding members, all gymnasts, average age 19. The leader was Handad, a 21-year-old who'd watched football matches in England and come back convinced it would catch on. He proposed the name Ajax, the Greek hero from the Iliad, known for strength and persistence. The others agreed, but when they drafted the founding documents, someone added Football Club in front of it. 1L, Dutch spelling, because they weren't sure if Ajax alone sounded official enough. By mid-April, they'd changed it to just Ajax and added Amsterdamse Football Club underneath. That stuck. They had no pitch, no goals, no formal league. The first matches were played on Het Houten Veld, literally the wooden field, a patch of rental ground in the Oosterpark where cricket clubs also trained. Ajax's first opponents were other amateur clubs formed the same way, factory teams, student societies, church groups looking for weekend activity. They lost more than they won in year one. The club nearly folded in 1902 when membership dropped to 8 and they couldn't field a full 11. Handad spent that summer recruiting anyone who could kick a ball, gymnastics background or not. By autumn, they had 14 members and a fixture list. What separated Ajax from the dozen other clubs that formed and dissolved in Amsterdam during those years was timing and location. They were founded in the eastern working-class neighborhoods, Oost and Watergraafsmeer, where population density was exploding as Amsterdam industrialized. Other clubs drew from elite schools or specific professions. Ajax drew from anyone who showed up. In 1907, they entered the Netherlands Football League Championship, the closest thing to a national competition that existed. They finished second, then won it in 1911. The turning point wasn't a match, it was a piece of infrastructure. In 1911, the same year as their first championship, Ajax secured a permanent home ground, a rented pitch on Zeeburgerdijk in East Amsterdam. Other clubs still wandered from park to park, negotiating rental fees every season. Ajax had an address. That permanence allowed them to build wooden stands, a clubhouse, eventually floodlights. More importantly, it allowed them to develop a culture. By the 1920s, Ajax was no longer a gymnastics club's winter experiment. It was the dominant force in Dutch football. They won 5 national titles in the decade. Jack Reynolds, an English coach hired in 1915, transformed them from a scrappy local side into a tactical force. Reynolds introduced structured training, positional discipline, and a passing style that prioritized control over brute force. It was the foundation of what would later be called total football, though Reynolds never called it that. By the time Handad died in 1925, Ajax had grown into something none of the 11 founders could have imagined on that March afternoon. They'd wanted a winter sport to keep fit. They'd built a dynasty. And unlike Football Club Ajax with one L, the name that stuck was the one that lasted. Next time we cross into Spain.